Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, that's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We got an email here from Jeff.
Hi there. I'm a new viewer of your YouTube channel. I appreciate the work you guys do and just the sheer honesty you provide. I've completed about 6 practice tests and the average between them is about a 151. I would like to be in the low to mid 160s, ideally. Okay. However, I took my official LSAT back in June and I received a 131, which I have never taken a practice test that low. Even the first one I ever did was not that low. So my question is, what kind of schedule would you say would be viable to achieve my goal? I plan to retake the LSAT in September. Wait, what? Huh? You don't know when you're going to be ready to take the LSAT. Also, that 131 is anomalous. Something happened. Like you didn't.
What'd you do differently?
Save your answers or something.
Yeah, it could be that. Could just be that Jeff shot for something that he wasn't really capable of, right? He wants to be
too fast,
ideally in the low to mid 160s. And he knows that to score in the low to mid 160s, he needs to do more of the test than he is currently capable of accurately doing. And so he goes into his official test shooting for a score that he's not actually capable of, and then ends up with a score that is way below what he really is capable of because he just wasn't doing it. Jeff, I mean, 131 is like repelling the correct answers. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's so bad that you're like barely adding anything in the time that you're sitting there. Like you're sitting there for 35 minutes and you're only scoring a few points higher than you would have scored if you would have randomly guessed. Well, that's because you're not actually doing it. You're skimming the surface. You're not really answering the questions. You think you're doing it, but all you're really doing is kind of like eliminating a couple answers that you don't like. And then there's these other couple answers that maybe you do. Oh, these got to be one of these. I'm going to go with that one. I mean, I got to keep it moving. I got to hurry up and get to the next question. And you're just not solving the problems at a 131. So you got to go back to whatever you're doing on your practice tests where you're solving enough problems to get a 151. You probably need to do fewer questions, Jeff, and just focus on accuracy. You are making a big mistake by planning to retake the LSAT in September. As Ben said, we have no idea when you're going to be ready to take the test. Maybe you're going to be ready in September. Maybe you're not. You really should wait until your practice tests are solidly in the 160s. If that's your goal, your practice tests should be solidly in the mid 160s before you sit again for another official test. And then when you do, you should just treat your official test like it's any other practice test. You're not doing that because you're doing, you only did a few, you said about 6 practice tests. About 6? That's a very specific number to say, about 6. So how much work have you actually done, Jeff? And, be honest with yourself. Do your practice tests indicate that you're ready to take this test? If so, then go in and play your game. If not, then just don't take the official test again. You want to talk to Jeff about a study schedule since that really is his question?
Sure. Well, I guess what I was trying to figure out is why Jeff is taking the test in September, right? And it's almost certainly because he's trying to apply, maybe.
So I guess, whatever you're doing, Jeff, you're doing that all wrong. I mean, you need to think about your LSAT prep. Get your practice test scores where you want them. Then think about registering for an official test. So how does Jeff get his scores where he wants them?
He does that by focusing on one question at a time. So maybe you do a time section. If you don't have a Demon account, you could go get one and just do literally one question at a time in drilling. But if you do a time section, you focus again, still same, one question at a time. You do question 1 and you get that question right. And then you go to question 2. And Jeff, you might not finish. You might only be able to get to 13 questions in the 35 minutes. Well, that's okay.
I'll say that a little bit stronger. Jeff, you complimented us at the top for our sheer honesty. Okay. Jeff, You have no business finishing the sections. You're not going to finish the sections right now. You might never finish the sections. You need to take it one question at a time and focus on accuracy. And that means that you're going to run out of time. Okay? You're not capable of answering all the questions with accuracy right now. So you need to focus on doing some of the questions with accuracy. That means you are going to run out of time. And that's okay, because you can make it to 155 and 160 and 165 and even 170 without finishing the sections. So you're new to us. So you need to really take on board our key advice. Like the one main piece of advice is you need to slow down.
Yeah.
Do fewer questions, but get paid for the work that you're doing. Actually get them right instead of just skimming the surface and half guessing and ending up with a practice section or a test that's just littered with wrong answers. You need to go way back to basics and just get number 1 right, then get number 2 right, then get number 3 right. And that needs to be your mindset always. Like every day of your LSAT prep and even on your official test, you need to just walk in there and get one of them right and then another one of them right, and really let go of the idea that you're going to finish the section or that you need to do a certain number of questions. Instead, you need to actually do the questions one at a time and get them right.
Yeah. Now, let's say you do 13 questions or 10 questions in a section, and then the time is up, Jeff. Then your job is to review those questions to make sure you understand each of them, right? And you have more questions in that section. You could continue doing that. The key here is that you're doing a question and then you're reviewing it to the point where you understand it. And if all you can do is do 5 questions with review of all of those 5 questions in an hour, and then you got to go to work, that's fine. This is not about, how many sections, so many study schedules. You said, what kind of schedule would you say would be viable to achieve my goal? We don't know how long it will take for you, but so many study schedules out there. They're like, okay, you're going to do these 2 sections on this day, or you're going to study these 25 must be true questions on Thursday. It's like, yeah, some people are going to do 25 questions, no problem. And other people are going to only be able to do 5 of those. So we don't, all you really need to do is move your skill set forward. How do you do that? You do a question, you review it until you understand it.
Yeah.
Now you've made progress. And
you
do
can
that
look
again.
for my, just Google 1 hour LSAT, and you should find a lesson that I wrote about how to divide your time if you're just going to spend an hour a day. If you've got more than an hour, that's great, Jeff, but I still think you should look at my 1 hour LSAT blog post and structure your first best hour every day around something similar to what I advise in that blog post. And it's going to be a combination of drilling and timed sections. It's always going to include thorough review of every mistake you make, because that's where the learning comes from. And if you've got more than an hour, then you can expand on it. But you basically need to be doing at least 1 high quality hour a day. And you need to do just consistent practice where you're just focusing on accuracy. Over time, your practice scores will go up, and then you can think about scheduling an official test. But you're making a mistake if you're like dead set on taking it in September.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff. Email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.